Hi, I'm Chris, creator of Flux Destiny, and welcome to the Flux Destiny channel. So I wanted to do this series of kind of these mini videos where I kind of review things that inspire me. I have a huge collection of art books that are like my pride and joy, and I've spent so much money and time collecting them that I wanted to share what inspires me with you. And you should absolutely buy these books and grab them if you can. The ones that I share with you in this series all have had an impact on me personally in my own artistic, development. And so I figured I'd share them with you. So the first in this series that we're going to look at is from a very famous artist, goes by Taco. He has this amazing set of books, and you've probably seen his art on Pinterest or on Twitter. Fly by. When you see it, you're going to recognize it. And the work has been collected in these amazing books that I'm going to share with you. And you can actually go to Taco's Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, and a lot of these images are already there, but you absolutely need to support the artist and buy the book. And it's just so nice to have it like available there with you, So I'm just going to go through some of these with you. So for my first book that I want to share with you guys, actually it's a collection of books, is by the artist Taco. And you've probably seen their work on Pinterest or on Twitter, and it's really amazing. Like I've always seen their work in people's tweets or sometimes sharing from their own artist account. And the work is absolutely beautiful, and it's such a great inspiration to look at. So just was going to flip through some of this to show you. There's actually 3 volumes, and when I found these online, I bought these on Amazon. It wasn't cheap. I don't remember what these cost, but it wasn't cheap, and I think I had to get it. I think it came from Japan directly. I don't think it came, or from Korea. I don't remember where it was shipped from, because I don't think I got it local. It was shipped locally. The book is in Korean, but I think it came from Japan. But anyways, I wanted to share with you this because it's such an amazing book. And if you've seen this artist's work on Twitter or on Pinterest, I'm sure it's inspired you too. So the book comes in these 2 sets. There's this one set. Let me take these out. These things always drive me nuts because they're really pretty. These little like sleeves, but they always end up getting torn or getting in the way. So let me just take these out here. So it actually binds both of them together. So we've got 1 and 2 here, these character drawing books. So let's look at the first one. And it's divided into, if you look at the index here, we've got the table of contents. It's divided into body and arms. And so we look at the 2 different parts of the body here. I'm just going to flip through some of this, and and they look at what's amazing about this book is that it is what I wish I would have learned when I was younger. Was always a lot of artists are like, oh, I don't need to learn how to draw, realistically, but honestly, learning to draw anatomy and learning how humans are built means that you can then translate that into all sorts of styles, whether it's anime or cartoon or whatever style you want, or realistic. If you know how to construct a human being, it makes such a huge difference. So this book does it in such a way that's just so elegant and so, and some of the tips that we get here on where to position certain muscles and where to connect things, proportions on the body masses are really just spectacular. They're so helpful. So I'm just gonna flip through some of this. This is a great example, this particular page that talks about how the bottom of the ribs and the elbow should be aligned horizontally. And so there's an example here, and they show on both male and female frames how that works. And this is so helpful. This was amazing to me as an artist, is to get these kind of proportional tips, and they make such a difference. If you study this drawing very carefully, you can see how the skull and its relationship to the face and to the body changes, and it's a important difference when you're drawing characters of different ages to pay attention to those proportions. So whenever you have issues with your characters not looking the age that they should, this is usually why. It's because your proportions are off, and this particular one has a great guide to that. See, here's another great proportion tip about how in the man's profile, the width of the upper body is set larger than the head. So this is typical. Of course, all body shapes are different, but if you were looking at a typical male body versus a typical female body, this is the proportions you should use. Like, look at this one here. When drawing a character with the head resting on the hand, the position of the elbow is important. The distance between the chin and the elbow should be approximately the size of the head. See, I love tips like that because I remember them as I'm drawing, and I can remember things like that, and it helps me. They just kind of stick in my head over time. This was another great page that I loved from this book, which helps you align the masses of the body from the upper body, including the chest, with the pelvis and how they're typically aligned. And I found that problems in my own art came from not doing this properly. So this was really helpful to me. This is another page. I'm gonna keep saying that. I act like every page is like a big epiphany for me, but this was like every time. That's why I think this book is so valuable, is that even when I always had, as an artist, trouble with making the different parts of the masses of the body twist and turn, and looking at it in this form helped me really understand how to do it, because I always got caught up with the middle part, with the torso, with the waist, I mean. And so they lay this out in such a way that makes so much sense. It's so simplistic, and the highlighted areas make a lot of sense. Can I also add that these books are a work of art in and of themselves? Just the simplicity of the two-color style is just gorgeous. It's gorgeous just to look at. Like, whenever I feel like I'm not able to draw, I will go and look at these books, and I will just flip through them, and suddenly I feel inspired. See, another great tip about twisting the body and how that works. You have to get these books if you can. And you can often see their work on the internet too. Their work is so effective in this book. It's just, I've seen so many art books that for some reason they just don't, they try their best, but they just cannot teach as effectively as this book does for me. And I think it's just because the primary lessons that I learn from them are right out in the open. It's just like, it gets straight to the core of what you need to learn, as opposed to a lot of like step-by-steps, you know. This may not be the best kind of book for someone who is just starting art, but if you are a more advanced artist, these kind of books are probably better for you, because you already get like the basic stuff. It's just getting everything to work right. Like these kind of tips about, again, I'll keep talking about proportion and positioning, are huge helps. These are huge resources to help fix your art. Of course, all artists complain about hands being the one thing that, one of the major things that artists suffer with, and apparently AI suffers with it too, which is hopefully will keep AI at bay for a while. But learning to draw hands, for me, I've gotten so much better over the years being able to draw hands because I've learned about massing the hands, like breaking it down into shapes and building it from there. And these are just beautiful shapes, the way that they've broken down the shapes of the critical shapes of the hand. But also understanding the underlying anatomy of the hand is really important and of the arm, because right here, for example, this is a great one. The outer part of the wrist, a silhouette that protrudes slightly from the bone is created. And this little bump right here is, when you see that on a wrist that's drawn properly, it makes it look like it works. And that's when you know an artist really knows their anatomy, is when you can see that little bump and it's done properly.